Hey guys, Thomas is still a genie here, aka Mustached. I'm here to review the video game Tekken 7. So I just finished my Let's Play of this game recently, so as I am going through those afterwards of each finale, the plan is to do a review no matter how old the game is. So this is indeed my review of Tekken 7. So, the first aspect I guess I will talk about is the story. While the narration is a little bit boring and a little bit sluggish, the actual events that take place in the story are a little bit more chaotic and all over the place. It is a rather short story, but there is the inclusion of what all the other Tekken characters are doing. So there is the main story, which you follow Heihachi in his journey, as Kazuya and Jin are also a part of and are trying to eliminate each other, as this family rivalry has been going on for years now, literally, and each of them are trying to put a stop to it on their own fronts, while also keeping up a image with which teams they are represented with. And a part of all of this within Tekken 7 is also the appearance of one Akuma, which shakes things up as he challenges Heihachi and kind of, again, changes up the dynamic of the game and what to expect going forward. We don't know if that's a once in a while story thing that's just going to be exclusive to Tekken 7, or if he's going to be a returning character in a potential future Tekken game. It's unclear right now, but the story is rather short, again, as I mentioned, but again, there are the other characters which you can do a one battle sort of sequence and get a little bit of a shot of what they were doing either at the tournament or getting to the tournament or anything else in between. While that's there, the gameplay is really where Tekken 7 shines. The combat system is, as always, you have your two attack button, attack hitting punching buttons and your two kick buttons, and alternating different combinations get you different combos. So it's not much different from Tekken 6 in that regard. The removal of certain characters I felt didn't have as much impact, although there was a lot of hula blah 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 nonsense going on with two particular characters being Roger and the dinosaur. I forgot. I think his name is like Rex, and their exclusion in the game, while catering to some nonsense about animals being too like animal violence, but then again, the Tekken 7 still has Kuma and Panda in the game, so again, I don't know why all that nonsense came about, but whatever. I do feel like, again, their exclusion as the fighting game is now currently isn't as big as I thought it was going to be. I mean, sure, the characters will be missed, but I don't think they offered too much except some comic relief here and there in each part that they were actually in previous Tekken installments. So there's that. The new characters are a bit interesting. They are a bit harder to play and understand, but they are interesting nonetheless. And Tekken 7's newest motivation, or motivation it created, is sort of near this. As you near the ending of a battle, it will slow down whatever's happening to see crystal clear who got the final hit in if two characters are getting closer to hitting one another. This aspect really lets, again, players know just exactly how a player individual has won, and lends itself to some pretty hype moments nonetheless. other than that, the game controls perfectly fine. And that inclusion of the slowdown system really hits the nail on the hammer of who legitimately won that battle. As far as other things are concerned, I didn't see too many issues with this game. This might be one of, story aside, I don't think Tekken's ever been particularly strong when it comes to with story. But when it comes to gameplay, uh, which has always been its strong suit, I do believe that this is one of the stronger uh, one of the stronger games in the set, that being Tekken 7. However, I do think that there is something significant about Tekken 6 that it is not present in Tekken 7. In Tekken 6, you could actually revisit the previous games and explore all the previous games as they were. This is not, again, present in Tekken 7. So there is that, which I do believe is a pretty big blunder on their part. So, with that being said, there is the DLC, their introduction of Geese Howard, and their most recent addition being from Final Fantasy's Noctis, being the character that was introduced. Again, bringing different playstyles to the Tekken 7 the Tekken franchise. And again, I do think that these particular DLCs will be more exclusive just to Tekken 7. I think at least Noctis's introduction was a bit more predictable, even though he came second, all things considered. I did notice that Square Enix had something to do with Tekken 7's involvement, so seeing Noctis appear here isn't a surprise at all. Geese Howard a bit more so. I am baffled, absolutely baffled that the Bandai Namco, sorry, got my companies mixed up there for a second. Bandai Namco refuses to put in a Digimon, even though in Digimon's story, Cyber Sleuth and its sequel, Hacker's Memory, has a Tekken poster. I am so discouraged that they still don't see the potential in adding in a Digimon into Tekken 7 DLC. I think that they have reached their final DLC. I'm not 100% on that, but it does look like that is a potential possibility that they are moving on from this, since there are other things in the horizons for Bandai Namco, such as Jump Force. I do believe that they are responsible for that. It could be someone else, but I think it is Bandai Namco. But regardless, it does seem like they are officially moving on from Tekken 7. So, one piece of DLC I do feel like they greatly missed out on is, again, introducing a Digimon into this DLC set, as it could have introduced a single Digimon playable character fighter, which I do think would have been an interesting dynamic as well. And again, I think it fits within the Tekken universe, since, again, in Digimon they have a Tekken poster. It would only seem natural, but whatever. But in DLC aside, I do think Tekken 7 is still one of the stronger games within the franchise. Tekken 6 not too far behind it, again, with its ability to have you look back at the previous games and actually play them. Without that, in Tekken 7, there's still pretty great combat, and that is what the majority of the game should offer, is great combat. It is a fighting game through and through. And again, I can't stress enough that I do think that the slowdown at the end is something that's very helpful in, again, making that ending very divisive, very satisfying as well. At the end of the day, I'm going to give Tekken 7 a solid 7 out of 10, and I don't do that out of irony of the number, but more so that I do think that it is a solid game, and I don't give it anything higher because I do think there are some elements that they could have added. Again, just those little missed opportunities, as again reintroducing the previous games like Tekken 7 did, Tekken 6 did. Uh, some missing characters here and there that I do think could have just buffed up the roster just ever so slightly even more. DLC that I do think could have catered to a bigger audience, again, such as Digimon. I do think that the outreach could have had more people wanting to play Tekken 7 just to play that one character. That's always something that has a possibility of happening. I've seen that happen before for just a specific game. Cough cough, Metal Gear Solid 4, way back when. So there is always that potential that just adding something from something else could have made a significant difference. But nonetheless, that is my review of Tekken 7. If you enjoyed this review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out that link in the description or head you over to my Patreon page, and any donations are greatly appreciated. And until next time, everyone, bye-bye.